נשבעתי לא אקיים ישמע משפקי צדקךו נשבעתי לא אקיים
Shmelke of Nikolsburg. Shmelke was a great tzaddik. He was the teacher of the seer of Lublin, who was a great Rebbe. And so one of the stories of Shmelke, one of the great things about him was that he learned Torah every moment. He was a masmid, someone completely devoted to learning Torah. And he was known that he would learn throughout the entire night without stopping, and he would only go to sleep when he couldn't move any longer. So a story goes once that his brother was with him, and they were learning Torah one night, and his brother got a little bit tired, but he pushed on, and he continued to learn with Shmelke. And finally, his brother was tired, so he walked to the bedroom, and he collapsed. I mean, he was so tired, he had pushed and pushed himself, and then he just collapsed from learning so hard. And so he went to the room, and he put his head on the pillow. So Shmelke comes to him, and he wakes him up. He says, "What are you doing?" He said, "If you had the energy to walk from one room to the next, and to grab a pillow even, then you had the energy to learn that few more minutes." So we woke him up, and he said, "This is not the way. You have to strive more to devote yourself to the learning of Torah." So great was Shmelke's devotion to learning, not only at Chatzos at midnight, when it's the special time to learn, where a person can receive the most from their learning, but even during the day he didn't believe in wasting time. And so another story of Shmelke is that once he was learning at night at Chatzos, and the candle ran out, and so he had no light to continue learning. Back then they didn't have electricity, so he ran to go get a light, and he wasn't even thinking. He was so into his learning. Shmelke was known for his fire and devotion, a tremendous amount of fire that he learned Torah with, and energy. So he ran to the marpeset, he ran to his porch like we're sitting on here now, and he reached out to get a light, not even thinking where he was, that he was 3 flights up. And so the candle was lit by someone, and then he ran back to learn, and he continued learning throughout the night. And so the story goes that in the morning he had realized that, wait a minute, I got a light. How did I get a light? I'm 3 floors up. And so the story goes that so holy was the learning of Shmelke of Nikolsburg that Eliyahu Navi, Elijah the prophet, came and troubled himself just to light the candle so he could continue his work. So it was Eliyahu Navi that had come down and reached over and given. Elijah the prophet was known to be so great that he went up in a chariot to heaven alive, and so he was not only a human being, but also an angel. He's also the angel that every time a person has a bris milah, a circumcision for their child, or anyone, Elijah the prophet is known to come spiritually to join in. And so great is the Torah learning of Shmelke, and so great is the Torah learning of you when you devote yourself completely and you push a little further instead of going and leaving the base medrash, the shul, but you continue to learn even those few minutes. You should learn that lesson from Shmelke. Now I know people that have went to travel to the holy grave of Shmelke in Russia, Ukraine area, and they said that the rafters were still there. You see, Rav Shmelke, all his chassidim, in order to remain awake, they used to tie their payas to the rafters above them, so that therefore their head would fall from fatigue. The payas would be pulled, and they would wake up again. And Rav Shmelke was also known to go to sleep, to sit when he was learning at night with a candle in his hand, so that if the candle would go out, he would immediately wake up because it would burn his hand. But so great was this Sanik's devotion to learning and to not wasting time. And so we have a lot to learn from this holy Rebbe and and his Torahs, the Svarim, the books that he's written, are in Hebrew, and you can read them. They're not translated into English yet, but today there is followers of Nikolsburg in two locations, one in Jerusalem and the other in Muncie, New York. I'm close to the one in Muncie, New York, and he too follows in the path of his, I don't know if it's the great-great-grandfather, but he's a direct descendant from Shmelke. And he too learns throughout the night, and he too, every moment he can, he's striving to learn Torah and giving to the Jewish people in the same way as the holy Shmelke. And so the holy tzaddik, he lives on not only through his Torahs, through the writings that he left us, but also through the holy Rebbes today that follow in his way and teach his way. And it's so remarkable, the people that went to the town of Nikolsburg, they said that the people there, when the Rebbe, they went with the Rebbe, that the people there gave him so much respect. They were appointing, they're not Jews, they're all Goyim, but they still have the shul there. They don't touch it, and they give it great respect. They decorate it, they clean it. It's a whole museum of this rabbi in many places. These rabbis didn't just leave a Kiddush Hashem amongst the Jews, but they made a glorification to Hashem's name amongst the non-Jews as well. And we should also strive to have such an effect on our surroundings.